She had lost her job last week. Her fridge was nearly empty, her rent was overdue, and her shoes were worn thin from walking miles each day. But that morning, when she saw a shivering boy in a wheelchair outside the grocery store, everything else faded. He looked forgotten, as if the world had passed him by. And when their eyes met, something in her heart cracked open. She had no idea that feeding him would change her life forever. Sophia stood quietly, observing the boy from a few steps away. He was young, maybe 8 years old, with sunken cheeks and tired eyes. His coat was too light for the biting wind. People passed him without stopping. Sophia reached into her worn bag and pulled out the only sandwich she had packed for the day. She offered it to him with a gentle smile. He looked up and reached out with shaking hands. He did not say a word, but his eyes said everything. As he took a bite, a sleek black SUV pulled up to the curb. The driver's door opened, and a tall man in a dark coat stepped out. His expression was sharp and unreadable. He looked first at the boy, then at Sophia. He walked toward them with purpose. "Did you feed my son?" he asked. His voice was calm, but it carried weight. Sophia answered softly, "Yes." He looked hungry and cold. The man nodded once. Then he said, "Please come with us." Sophia paused as the man opened the door of the black SUV. She did not know who he was or why he wanted her to come with them. Yet, his calm and steady voice gave her a strange sense of trust. Slowly, she slid inside and sat beside the boy, who held the half-eaten sandwich tightly in his small hands. The warmth inside the car was a sharp contrast to the cold she had felt all morning, but her mind raced with questions. Why had this boy been left alone outside? The man settled behind the wheel and glanced at her through the rearview mirror. "My name is Daniel," he said softly. "This is my son, Liam." His grip on the steering wheel tightened. "I watch from across the street sometimes to see who still cares." Sophia swallowed hard. He had been testing the kindness of strangers. "Most people ignore him, but you did not." She looked down at Liam, now peacefully asleep with the sandwich resting on his lap. "Why would you leave him there?" Sophia asked quietly. Daniel's voice faltered. "Because one day, I will not be here to protect him. I need to know that people like you still exist." They drove in silence for a moment before Daniel broke it again. "You helped him without expecting anything in return. That means more than you realize." Emma felt a lump in her throat. Then Daniel said something that changed everything. "What if I told you I want to help you too?" Sophia's heart raced as Daniel's words sank in. She had been struggling for months, unsure where her next meal would come from or how she would pay rent. The idea that this stranger, who clearly had great wealth and power, wanted to help her felt almost impossible. She studied his face, searching for any hint of a trick, but saw only sincerity. Daniel said, "I have resources you cannot imagine. A safe place to stay, a fresh start, but you must trust me." She hesitated but nodded slowly. Her hope had faded long ago, yet this offer felt like a lifeline. Daniel glanced at Liam, who stirred awake and gave a small, tired smile. "You saved him today, Sophia. Now it is my turn to help you." The SUV pulled away from the curb, leaving behind the cold street and uncertainty. As they drove, Sophia's mind raced. What did this mean for her life? Could she accept help from someone so different? Daniel's voice broke the silence again. "This is not charity. This is an opportunity. Your kindness is rare, and it deserves to be rewarded." His words kindled a fragile hope inside her, a hope she thought she had lost forever. The SUV arrived at a sprawling estate surrounded by tall trees and perfectly manicured gardens. Sophia's breath caught in her throat. She had never imagined a place like this. Daniel stepped out and opened the door for her. "This is your fresh start," he said quietly. Liam reached out and held Sophia's hand, his eyes shining with gratitude. For the first time in years, Sophia felt a sense of peace. Days passed, and Sophia's life began to change in ways she had never expected. Daniel's help was more than financial. He offered guidance and friendship. Sophia found a job she loved, and Liam's health improved with the care he received. But the biggest change was inside her. Hope blossomed where there had once been only despair. One afternoon, Daniel pulled Sophia aside. You saved my son when no one else would. Your kindness changed everything. Now, it is your turn to change your own story. Tears welled in Sophia's eyes. The stranger she helped had become her protector and her greatest chance at happiness. Sometimes, a single act of kindness is enough to change a life forever. If you enjoyed this story, please kindly subscribe to my channel so you won't miss out on more inspiring and heartwarming tales. Thank you so much for your support.